I hope you saw Stu's video recalling the death of J.I. Packer. You've probably seen that in the news, and I hope it inspired you to go and get your get out your copy, download it on Kindle, check it out of the library, buy it here from the shelves at Zion. J.I. Packer, his book Knowing God is one that impacted me, impacted Stu. It's a great little book. I got mine out, and he's very challenging, and it's a good reminder and a good challenge. He says the question is, can we say simply, honestly, not because we feel that as evangelicals we ought to, but because it's a plain matter of fact that we have known God, and that because we have known God, the unpleasantness we've had or the pleasantness we have not had through being Christians does not matter to us. Huh. If we really knew God, this is what we would be saying. And if we are not saying it, this is a sign that we need to face ourselves more sharply with the difference between knowing God and merely knowing about Him. Okay, that's a tough distinction and an important one to make. We must recognize how much we lack the knowledge of God. We must learn to measure ourselves not by our knowledge about God, not by our gifts and responsibilities in the church, but by how we pray and what goes on in our hearts. And many of us, I suspect, have no idea how impoverished we are at this level. Let's ask the Lord to show us. Okay. And then he gets to this idea of what's important to life and what bothers you and what troubles you. Once you become aware that the main business that you're here for is to know God, then most of life's problems fall into place of their own accord. The world today is full of sufferers from the wasting disease, which Albert Camus focused as absurdism. Life is a bad joke. And from the complaint which we may call Marie Antoinette's fever, since she found the phrase that describes it, nothing tastes. These disorders blight the whole of life. Everything becomes at once a problem and a bore because nothing seems worthwhile. Okay, so how many of our problems seem to get larger and larger because our view and our knowledge of God becomes smaller and smaller? What makes life worthwhile is having a big enough objective, something which catches our imagination, lays hold of our allegiance. And this the Christian has in a way that no other person has. For what higher, more exalted, more compelling goal can there be than to know God? This is an excellent challenge and good stuff in J.I. Packer's book. If you don't if you haven't looked at it, get a copy. We've got one in the church library. They're for sale on the church bookshelves. You can download for Kindle. You can order online. Get a copy and look at J.I. Packer's Knowing God.